done with that. It's going to cover these first two tuples programs. Now, since tuples are basically the exact same thing as lists, I'm going to do, and we did a bunch of list stuff. These programs, I'll implement tuples in them, but it's not really, I mean, it can be done without tuples, all right? But I figure I'll do this, and at the same time, we can learn about, which is more important, I think, is reading and writing to text files that are outside of your program. So I'm going to do this name search one first because it's easier than the charge account, all right? So it says, if you have downloaded the source, okay, whatever, girlnames.txt. This file contains a list of 200 of the most popular names given to girls born in the United States from the year 2000 through 2009. And the boynames.txt file, this file contains a list of the 200 most popular names given to boys born between 2000 and 2009. Write a program that reads the contents of the two files into two separate lists. The user should be able to enter a boy's name, a girl's name, or both, and the application will display messages indicating whether the names were among the most popular. Okay, so I created this name search file, and I'm just going to do the boys because the girls' names are, I mean, it doesn't really matter. Once you know how to do one of them, you can do the other. That's the exact same thing. Okay, so first of all, with this program, the next program I'll generate random numbers and write to a file. But these are the names. Now, whether this is accurate or not, I don't really care. But there's 200 boys' names in here. Okay, so the idea is you open this file up, and it goes through the list, and you type in a name, and then it checks to see if that name exists in this list. If it does, it's considered one of the most popular boys' names between the year 2000 and 2009. And if it's not in there, then it's not one of the most popular names, okay? So first thing you got to do is you got to store, your text files in here, okay? And I just created a tuples file and stored it in here, okay? So let's do this. We will define our main. And we'll call our main right here. And we'll say boy name equals input. Enter a boy's name to see if it is one of the 200 most popular boy names. Okay. All right, so I am going to create, so I'm going to do this if popular boy name is one of the top 200 most popular boy names. Else, let's say is not. Okay. All right, so I got to create this method that's going to return true or false if it's in the list, okay? So I'm going to call this define popular. Now I need to pass in the boy's name, popular boy name, and then I'll pass it in there, the boy name. Okay, so I'm going to say boys is equal to a list, a blank list. I'm going to say boy flag equals false. I'm going to say boy names equals our tuple. And this is again a waste of time, but we're working with tuples, so I might as well show you. All I'm going to do is build my list, and you'll see why lists are more dynamic. Again, tuples are mainly used is if you, not mainly, but they're used if you have a list that you don't want anybody to change, because tuples are immutable. You don't want people to make mistakes, and so you know, if you had like 1,000-line program and you were working with a list like this, you could potentially like screw this up, okay? And you could add to it or write to it or whatever, and that could create problems. So tuples are just used as just an extra security layer, where if you create a tuple and have information stored in it, you can't change it, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to build our, see, and the reason why we have to use a list is because, remember, they're immutable. You can't change them. I can't just build my list. I have to have, because the way it's going to work is it's going to open up this and add each name to it and append it to the list, and you can't change a tuple. So I need to create my list first and then assign it to the tuple. So I'll do for line in, and then I need to open the file. And in order to do this, let me see here, desktop, tuples. We'll see if that's right. I feel like that's not right, but whatever. Okay, so you have to put 2 dashes in between here. And then you need the boy names.txt file. So you have to have 2 of these not forward slashes, the backward slashes, okay? And let me think here. So for each of them, we're going to build our boys dot append, and we'll append. Now we do, for each line, we're going to strip. So what strip does, so let me open up this. Boy names. Okay, so here are our boys' names. Okay, now we don't know if there's a blank space after each of these, so what strip does is it strips the blank spaces before or after every single line in here, okay? I did this wrong. It's supposed to go... what the heck? It's supposed to go here. Okay, so for each line, I'm gonna open up this and append this onto my boys. What's it called? My boys. And I can print this here. Print boys. All right, let's see here. I'm gonna have to just return boy flag. So I haven't written that code yet, but let's look at this real quick and see if it gets... I meant to put that up there, not on this one. So let's run this again. I don't know, blah blah blah. Line 22, what's going on here? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Name false is not defined. Oh, duh. All right, see how Jacob, Michael, Joshua. Jacob, Michael, Joshua. There's my list, okay? So then what I do here is to implement my tuple. If I don't want it to change, I could say boy names, which is my tuple, is equal to the boys, what's it called? The boys list. And now boy names is immutable and you don't want to change it, all right? So now we would just do for x in boy names. And then if, x is equal to the boy name that you entered, then we say the boy flag is equal to true. And then, that's true. And we can run this. So let's run this. Run. I don't know. That's obviously is not in the list, all right? But let's look for one that is. David. Okay, so run this. David. David is, okay. What else is in here? I don't know. Ryan. Is one of, okay, so let's run one more. So my son's name is Ryder. It's not. And my second son's name is Koa. It's not. Okay, so anyway, yeah, this is a good little program just to show you how to read information in one at a time, strip the blank spaces from the beginning and end so that you just have your information and append it to the list. Okay, so that's that one. All right, next up, file new. All right, sorry about that. I lost connection, but at least we got done with the name search. So now we're going to do the charge account. It says if you have downloaded now I haven't downloaded anything, so I'm going to create my own charge account numbers. The file has a list of companies' valid charge account numbers. Each account number is a 7-digit number, such as, whatever that number is, 5658845. All right, so it says write a program that reads the contents of the file into a list. The program should ask the user to enter a charge account number, and the program should determine whether the number is valid by searching for it in the list. If the number is in the list, the program should display a message indicating the number is valid. If the number is not in the list, the program should display a message that is invalid. Okay, so I'm going to say File, Save As, Desktop, find that Tuples program. All right, I'm going to call it charge account. Okay. So first thing, import random. Okay. Then we're going to do define main, call main. All right, so I want to be able to write the charge. All right, so I'm doing this because I don't have, if I go into here, desktop. Now I create a charge accounts text file, but there should be nothing in it. Okay, nothing's in it. So we want to. I'm calling this to write to and show you how to write information to it. So I'm going to say file equals open and copy that, paste that in there. We're going to charge counts.txt. And we are going to write to this. All right, so this opens the file. And always remember to put 2 of these in here, because if you don't, it thinks of them as escape sequences with just 1 of these, all right? So 2 of them, it recognizes them as their backslashes. Okay, and this W right here means we're going to write to it, okay? Okay, so we are going to write just 100 for I in range 100. We're going to write 100 accounts to it. We'll say line is equal to str random number dot rand int, and these are, how long are these? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 digits. So we'll start off at, what is that, 1,000,000? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 through 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And so file.write will write line plus a dash n. So that'll be a new line at the end. It'll add to it. And then I can print this line right here just for testing purposes. Okay, when I'm done, I want to close the file. All right. And next up, I want to be able to read from this. Because I got to test it. I'm going to put in numbers. I'm going to put in 7-digit, or I'll put in random numbers, whatever I type in. But when I type those in, I'm never going to know the 100 numbers that are written to this file right here. So I need to be able to read it to see for testing it. So I'll say read charge accounts. And for testing purposes. Okay. So let's read them, be able to read them. So print reading the file now. Okay. So for line in, and this opens it again, and instead we're going to read to it from it, not write to it. So we'll change that to read it. Print, and again we're going to strip out any blank spaces. Okay, so that will this writes to it, this will read it, and then we can do, account number is equal to an int input. Please enter your account number. Okay, and then similar as last time, we'll say if is valid account. It's an invalid account. We'll pass in the account number. Okay, we will, if it's a valid, why is it doing that? If it's a valid account number, it needs one of those. That's probably why it's messing with it. It's a valid account number. We'll print your account number is valid. Else print your account number is invalid. Okay, so do define and what are we going to return? We'll return the valid account flag. Same kind of thing here. We'll create a charge account list. And again, this is just this wouldn't make sense at all because you'd want to actually, the more customers you get, then you'd want to actually build this. But again, this is tuples, so this is the unit on tuples, so I might as well show you a little bit of tuples work in here. Okay. So for line open, we're going to open it up. Okay, and that's going to, we then need to build our list. So charge account dot append, and we'll append each line to it. Now, these lines go in as integers, and I'm typing this as an integer. So they go in as strings? They append as strings. So we want to change them to ints. So I'm going to say int, and then remember the dot strip where I'm stripping off the beginning and the end, so there's no blank spaces. So that will append an integer into here. Okay, and then right here, we do our tuple charge accounts. So this now can't be changed. Equals charge account, and tuples are immutable and do not have a dot append function. So I had to create the list first and then assign the list to a tuple. So that's what I'm doing there. Okay. And then from there, we do for x in our tuple charge accounts. And then if x is equal to the account number that I entered, then our valid account is equal to true. So it changes it to true, and then we return that in here. So let's run this and see what we got. Errors. Invalid syntax. For line in. So it's writing all the numbers and then it reads them. So remember, this was blank, right? But now it's got our 100 numbers or so in it. And again, I read it right after it. I guess right here, this print statement would go away and it would just write to it. But so let's grab a number. Let's grab, 501, 4183. It's valid. Okay. If I run this again, just with a random number, invalid. Okay. So again, this was for testing. This would go away. And ultimately, you know, that would go away. And so it would write everything in the background, and then I could do, I don't know, that number, it's invalid. But again, like, I don't know when I run this what's printing, so the only way I could do that would be to go into this charge account. I don't know, let's grab that number. Valid. Okay. So, though, that's how you read and write to files. Did a little bit with tuples and lists and stuff. So, anyway, this video is done.